The following programme is a presentation of Jez Sports.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Main Event podcast. Today we are looking at Survivor Series War Games, and that's how you got to say it. You cannot say it in any other way. My name's Dan, and as always with me is Jez over that way. How you doing, Jez?
Doing very well, thank you very much. After a wonderful Thanksgiving weekend, obviously Survivor Series is always on Thanksgiving weekend, so even if you don't celebrate it, which I know that you don't, you will know that other people have, because Survivor Series has happened, and it's been a Thanksgiving tradition for many a year, maybe all of the years.
All the years.
I don't think all of the years, because we were having the flashbacks of Survivor Series Montreal Screwjob year 97. That was way early in November, so I don't think that was a Thanksgiving weekend year.
Yeah, maybe not.
Citation needed. We'll ask Triple H, because the guy answers questions, unlike his predecessor. Nice. We'll get to that at the end of this episode, because we're also going to discuss the press conference that took place after Survivor Series. Before we get into Survivor Series, and we're in no particular rush today, because this was a nice, succinct pay-per-view of 5 matches.
Yeah.
War Games is pretty long, I'll grant you, but 5 matches, not, what is it, 14? That was on Full Gear? 10,000, rounding up, obviously. Nice and succinct. But last week, I said that we were coming into this event, which is the last in our prediction quarter, tied. That was not accurate, because I had forgotten to put in the results of the Saudi show that we don't cover on this show, but we do predict. And unfortunately, you got one better on me on that day.
Oh,
so actually,
that was stretch.
What was the score for that one? Jez 6, Dan 7 was for the Saudi bleep show. So we come into Survivor Series with an actual score of Dan 72, Jez 71.
Yeah. So
in our predictions, I will need to be ahead by a clear 2 in order to win the belt. And all you need to do is tie, you can get more than me, obviously, but a tie will win it for you. Very, very close this quarter. It was close last quarter as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's been very close. I think it's because we do predict very similar.
Yes,
that's the thing. So.
And in an attempt to, kind of get out of each other's heads a little bit, and I think we'll do this going forward because it's a great idea. We sent our predictions independently to our good friend and Primetime Streamer Network Modzilla MJ Harmstone, who then, as soon as received both the results, sent me the predictions so that I could record them for the notes here. But it did mean that we weren't going, Dan's probably right, like blah 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 is going to win. Yeah. So I think that's better. We'll do that going forward.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
And it doesn't make any difference. You're just sending it to a different person, so it really doesn't make a blind bit of difference. So all's fair going into Survivor Series. Let's kick it off with what was the first match, the opening match, Women's War Games. Becky Lynch, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Mia Yim and Bianca Belair against Rhea Ripley, Nikki Cross, Io Sky, Dakota Kai, and Bailey.
That's a mouthful.
Kick off. It is a mouthful, yeah, because they don't, apart from, Damage Control, they don't have succinct team names, and that wasn't even the whole second team there. But yeah, you can kick us off. I assume you will do so with the pros. What did you like?
I will do. Well, first pro, Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
Just Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to say, and this is kind of to do with Nikki Cross's gimmick is so much better now.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, I mean, we haven't discussed it prior to this because it has happened since the last pay-per-view. Yeah. Or it may have been just before, but I don't think Nikki Cross was involved in whatever the last one was. What was the last pay-per-view?
Extreme Rules.
Oh, yeah.
Or was it Saudi?
Well, yeah, Saudi was, but we ignored that one. So the last pay-per-view was Extreme Rules. Yeah. It's been a while since we've done a WWE pay-per-view.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I think it's much better to go back to that gimmick that she's really good at. I never really understood what the problem was in the first place and why they took it off.
She's really good at just being a lunatic.
Yeah, and it's like they. I mean, I'm sure it was Vince or John Laurinaitis or whatever other idiot was in charge of creative at the time. They just took a good, unique character.
Yeah.
And turned her into generico, like everybody else type character, and that didn't work. So then they lumped her with a stupid cartoony superhero.
Well, I think that they said that Nikki Cross has said that the superhero gimmick was actually her idea.
Whatever. I don't believe her.
But if it was her idea, why did creative go, yeah, all right then?
Yeah, because it was a terrible idea.
Yeah.
Terrible idea. And it should have been vetoed immediately. By everybody involved. Yeah, never again.
Yeah.
But yes, good point.
Yeah.
Do continue.
Yep. So what they did with the table, I thought it was quite good that they put the table in between the two rings and actually pinned Bianca up against the fence, all that. Becky Lynch going through the table, considering she's just come back off injury. She's just went, screw it.
Yeah,
I'll jump off this high.
And she talked about that in the press conference, or rather, Triple H talked about it in the press conference, and apparently that was Becky's idea weeks ago. As soon as she knew that she was coming back, she was like, "How do you feel about me jumping off the cage through a table?"
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Don't want to ease into this in any way, Becky. No, straight through a table off the top.
Just go for it.
All right then, you do you, Becky. Yeah. It's not like you've got a kid at home to worry about or anything. You do you.
Yeah. Another bit that I found quite funny was when Becky was stood in the ring calling Bailey a little female dog.
I did miss that bit, I must say.
It was quite funny. She was just stood there and she said it like 5 times. It was quite funny.
I like that they're actually adding a bit of flair to this, and I don't mean Charlotte. I mean just actual making it seem like they don't like each other. Because they're not supposed to like each other. So
no. And the other thing I liked was the kind of teasing Becky and Rhea sort of thing.
They teased a lot of different rivalries, actually.
Yeah.
I think they've got a good method of springboarding a bunch of different stuff from this match. Yeah.
Which I think a lot of them, I was like, oh, that'd be quite good. Oh, that'd be quite good.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the commentators said it. They made it sound like this is the end of the rivalry between Bianca Belair and Bailey, and therefore, by extension, the rest of Damage Control. Yeah. And so, which direction does it go next?
Yeah.
Where did Damage Control go? And I'm looking forward to finding out, personally. Yeah, they can't really do much wrong with this group of women that are on Raw.
No.
Much stronger crop of women on Raw now than there is on SmackDown. And that I don't think that has been the case for a very long time. Not since they first promoted, Sasha and people up from NXT and that kind of whole team bad kind of stuff. And
that.
Yeah, I mean, that was terrible, but at least the talent was there.
Yeah.
Any more pros?
Well, I'm going to let you throw some pros out there now.
Sure. I mean, there was plenty to like in this match, obviously. I liked that they chose Bianca Belair, pardon me, and Dakota Kai to start this match. Because it was just real. These are the two women that have the most experience in this match.
Yeah.
Bianca Belair is, for all intents and purposes, in charge of that team and made the decision to put herself forward. Great. Yeah. Love that. And Dakota Kai, which is a difficult word to say today, apparently, has been in every women's War Games match in the overarching WWE universe, which is very cool. Yeah. And I'm surprised they didn't touch on it further, but there was one that she wasn't supposed to be in, and that would have been Mia Yim's first War Games.
Yeah.
But Dakota Kai took Mia Yim out of that match and took her place. So
yeah.
Is
that the one where she turned on Tegan Knox?
Yes.
Yeah.
Still my favourite War Games of any of them, male, female, WWE, WCW.
I think that's where Dakota Kai started to rise.
Yeah, because she was terrible before that.
Yeah.
Like that, her babyface character was so dull.
Yeah.
But, that is where Dakota Kai really came into herself, and in that heel turn there. Yeah, really good.
Yeah.
I liked the kendo stick war.
Yeah.
Between the ladies, and I liked Bianca Belair snapping one of the kendo sticks. Yeah. Even though it did take a fair bit of effort. Yeah. To do so, but it's a kendo stick. They're not designed to be snapped. Like they're built with several kind of rods so that they can't snap, so that they are sturdy. Yeah. So kudos for actually pulling that off. And as you said, the leg drop off the cage through the tables. That's my last pro. Really, it's the main thing. Yeah. Yeah. Worth Becky having a sore ass at the end of the night.
Yes, as she mentioned.
Yeah. I mean, anytime Becky wants to have a sore ass, go right ahead.
Moving on.
Anything you didn't like in the cons section?
To be honest, there was only one thing I think it could have started a bit better. It was a bit of a slow start, just a little bit.
But that is War Games. I do.
Yeah, I know it's War Games. But,
I think the starts are always pretty slow, and they mentioned that the rules have changed over the years, and I honestly can't remember what the rules used to be, but I have my own rules proposal for War Games to spice it up a little bit. So obviously you need to have an advantage. Somebody needs to have an advantage in the match, and they always predetermine that with a match like on the show before or for some other reason before that. What if in the opening match, that first bit that's one-on-one, that was just a match?
Okay.
And the winner of that gained the advantage for their team.
That would be a good idea.
If you win the match, you immediately get the advantage and the help coming in. And if you lose the match, it's really not good for you. It's terrible because you've just had a hard-fought match, you've lost, and now you've got a second person coming in to blap you. So, just a way of spicing the beginning up a bit. They want to make it a bit longer. It's 5 minutes compared to the 3 minutes later on. Just make it a match.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good idea, that.
You listening, Triple H? I know you listen.
You listening, Trips?
Yeah, have you got your notepad out? Right. Note it down for next year. Match to start the event for advantage. Done. There you go. Easy money. But I don't have anything in the cons section.
No.
Well, I have. I've got none written down.
Got none.
Because I didn't dislike anything about that match. And it was slightly standard fare for War Games. It wasn't the greatest War Games of all time, but also everybody did what they were supposed to, and I don't think anything really went wrong with it.
No. Cool.
Predictions. Now, you don't know what I predicted.
No, I don't know what you predicted.
Yeah, I know what you
predicted. You know what I predicted.
But you don't know what I predicted. So, you went... Do you remember?
I went with Team Belair.
You went with Team Belair, and so you got a point for that. I did not go for Team Belair. I went for the Damage Control group. So, I did not get a point for that, unfortunately. So, you the ones, I guess, to start off the show, and
I'm the one.
I'll just sit here and scratch my nose or something. Next up, then, we had AJ Styles against Finn Balor. I'm going to tell you first what the predictions were. I went with AJ Styles, as did you.
Oh, there we go. So we've actually tied.
We've both got that one right on
yeah, we got that one right. I'm a 2,
and I wanted to get that one in so that I could be a 1 in instead
I'm
of a 0.
I'm like the what they called on NXT, the Schism.
Oh yeah. What's his face does it as well? Chad Gable. Africa. Thank you.
Thank you.
There you go. You can do that. So yes, Jez 1, Dan 2. The match.
Yes.
I'll let you go first because I feel like my opinion might be slightly controversial.
Okay. It was an okay match. It was technical for the most part. I liked the OC Judgment Day kind of just beating the hell out of each other and just disappearing. So they couldn't get involved in the finish. But apart from that, I thought it was just okay.
For me, it was okay, bordering on meh.
Meh. Yeah.
And that's kind of my problem. Why was an AJ Styles Finn Balor match just okay?
I know. I was looking forward to this match.
Me too.
Because I thought these two are going to have a great match. It's going to be a bit of a clinic,
I was waiting for that clinic to start. It started well. It was a slow, physical match to start with.
Yeah.
And I was waiting for them to lock in the submissions and chain things together and maybe go a bit high-flying and just completely mix all of their styles, the things that they're famous for, across the course of the match. And it just didn't happen for whatever reason. My other pro, you could view it as a con because it wasn't much done with it. They had plenty of time given to them. This wasn't a short match.
No.
It wasn't like, we haven't got time to get all of our stuff in. They very much did. And for whatever reason, they chose not to. So, some pros, but cons for me. AJ Styles getting involved in that ringside brawl.
Yeah.
There was just
no
need.
Point.
There was no need for it. I think the story of them taking each other out was a much more compelling story. And okay, he attacked the person that attacked him on the apron in Dominic Mysterio, but still just...
And I'm all for people attacking Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah, absolutely. But AJ Styles is like a 1 billion year veteran. He should know better than to take himself out of the match against a person the caliber of Finn Balor. So I didn't like that. It seemed amateurish from AJ, and he very much is not. And could have been a lot more technical and mat based. Yeah, just a meh match.
Yeah. One other thing that I put down is Finn's weird ass mask again.
I like it.
A different one.
I like it because it's weird. That's the point.
But did you notice when he took it off, he could not see through it at all?
I assumed that it was like slightly opaque in some way, and that you could see a little bit.
Because he took it off and he handed it to who did he hand it to? Dominic or somebody?
Yeah.
And he actually held it so you could see the inside, and it's like you can't see anything through that.
I mean, you're just walking in a straight line.
Yeah,
if you
that's
walk
why I
into
think when they were doing the entrance, Dominic and Damien kind of came a bit further forward, but Finn had stopped a bit further back accidentally and then kind of stepped forward. I think he might have been like looking out the bottoms or
you can look down, can't you, and kind of see where everything is. But I mean, if you've walked into Damien Priest, then you've gone too far. Basically, is the answer.
At least it wasn't a spiky gimp mask.
Indeed, and AJ Styles was wearing like his old kind of Bullet Club style masks.
I think that was cool.
That he had. Yeah, that's either the same mask or a real like copy of one of his old New Japan masks. So,
if it was the same one, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the same one, but don't quote me on it.
No.
I'm not a New Japan expert, far from it. Okay, So slightly disappointing, but it did give the opportunity for the women to shine in the next match. SmackDown Women's Championship, Ronda Rousey versus Shotzi. I've seen a lot of hate for this match on the internet. Do you share that hate?
I don't think it was great.
No. It's not a match of the year candidate.
I think Shotzi did carry a lot of it.
I feel like Ronda Rousey is getting better at the kind of wrestling aspects rather than just the MMA fighting aspects.
Yeah.
And I think this match was just fine.
Yeah.
I don't think it was bad.
I wouldn't say it was bad, but it was fine. I liked how they jumped into the audience.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. There have been calls this week to fire Ronda Rousey.
No, don't fire her. I think she just needs more practice.
Yeah, she just needs
I
polishing
think
a little bit.
I think she doesn't need the title.
There is that.
I think somebody else should have the title, and she should just have a string of matches, just one-on-ones with some people, have a rival with somebody that doesn't involve the title, and just get better.
I agree. She's a person that doesn't really need the championship.
No.
And the story of her chasing the championship and constantly being attacked by a new person every time and never actually being able to get back to the title would be a compelling one for her. I mean, I've only got one con really, and it's a kayfabe con. Rookie error from Shotzi focusing on Shayna Baszler.
Yeah.
She's better than that. She's really better than that.
I think, and I've just had an idea. Shayna Baszler should cost Ronda Rousey the title to whoever, and then Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey should go in a big feud. Do that for a bit.
I'd be up for that from a story point of view.
Yeah, story point of view.
I'd be slightly concerned what that looked like in the ring.
Yeah, but I mean, I think Shayna Baszler could teach Rousey some stuff. I know Shayna Baszler's not the best.
Yeah, Baszler's fine. I just don't think Ronda Rousey really listens to anyone in the wrestling ring, except for maybe Natalya. But I think one thing that Ronda Rousey could do is learn from Shotzi how to do her makeup.
Yes.
Because and Shayna Baszler for that matter, because both of their makeup is always terrible. They try to do cool stuff, it never comes off. Whereas Shotzi just came out there with the lightning bolt and really, really cool, succinct, polished makeup, and was like, that's how you do that.
I do like Shotzi.
Not whatever it is that you're doing over here with.
I don't know what Rousey had. She had it like across here or something, didn't she? And that was it.
On SmackDown, she had it like it was just a blue solid line like that, and I'm like, that looks awful. What are you doing? And then at Survivor Series, it was kind of like it was kind of like war paint, but it was straight across the eyes and everything. And I'm like, that looks slightly better, but still awful. Like, what's better than terrible, but not much? That's what that is. It wasn't brilliant. And I'm not saying I could do a better job. I've got no call to do a better job, but also you can choose to not wear quite so much makeup, just like I can. So maybe do that.
You wear less makeup, don't you?
I do, yeah. Just a bit of eyeshadow, like a touch of mascara, just to make my eyelashes pop a little bit. But
I thought so.
Yeah. Bit of foundation. No, you can very much tell I don't wear foundation. I'm blotchy as hell. Predictions. We both went for Ronda Rousey, so we get a point each. It was fairly inevitable, although I did think I was, coming a cropper when they were like, she's doing it for her dad. Her dad died earlier in the year, and she's dedicating the match to him. I'm like, oh god, it's going to be a shock miracle victory, and I'm going to lose a point at the most crucial time. But you'd have lost it too. It doesn't matter. So Jez 2, Dan 3. Thank you. Right.
Thank you.
Next match. the de facto main event in terms of championships and kind of regular stuff. United States Championship. Seth Rollins defending against Bobby Lashley and Austin Theory. Now then.
You start, because it's a triple threat.
I mean, in my cons, I have obviously got the word turn taking.
Yeah.
And I guess this isn't a con. Underneath it, I've got not bad, actually.
Yeah. I was really interested to hear what you thought, because I actually thought it wasn't a bad triple threat match.
I thought it was probably one of the better triple threat matches of recent memory. Yeah.
Yes, they did turn taking, but it wasn't like the old style where it's like you throw someone out the ring, they stay there for about 20 years, and then come back in. It was actually throw out, right, let's have a quick fight, then the other guy quickly comes back in, and then they did that.
Absolutely.
So it was a bit more fluid, and a bit more, natural. And I liked at the beginning when Bobby just went, no, you get out, Theory. Theory gets back in. Rollins just goes, no, you get out.
Yeah,
I thought that was quite funny.
And I think you've hit the nail on the head there. The fact that they swapped around their turn taking so readily, and the idea was for a lot of it, you've got to take down Bobby Lashley because otherwise he's going to dominate. You've got to keep your eye on Theory because he's sneaky. You've got to keep your eye on Seth Rollins for the same reason. He's sneaky too. And so there was a constant looking around. Get rid of a person so you can focus on the other person, and a quick chop and change between all that. If that's what you want triple threat matches to be, I'm all for that. But still a fatal forward.
I liked this match.
I liked it too, and I didn't expect that going in.
We need people to record that Jeremy says he liked a triple threat match.
Yeah, I mean, it had to happen at some point. And the three of these guys are all great, aren't they?
Yeah.
This could have been a world championship match. And I think that is one of my major pros, is that we saw main event Theory in this match. He
steps up.
He stepped up. He hung with both of those guys.
Oh yeah.
And I don't think where previously when he was Mr. Money in the Bank, we were like, Theory's not ready for the main event. If they put him there, he would flounder. I think this proved a lot.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'm not saying he should be WWE champion tomorrow.
No,
far from it. But I think this really was a shining moment for him in that development into the main event. And if he's in the main event in 2023 and is a champion in 2023, I don't think I've got quite as big a problem with it now than I did a month ago, even.
But I mean, in the press conference, and we'll go into it later, Triple H actually acknowledges that as well, doesn't he? Did you see it where he says, like a month
in the
ago?
Way that Triple H does, loving to take a dig at the internet and at rumours. It was more a dig at that than praise for Theory. But the point was there.
Yeah.
What else did I like? Let me see. The Hurt Lock / Sleeper combination, the three-way kind of thing. That looked good. And there were even some people online like Kayfabe Warriors who were like, oh yes, you can see by applying the Hurt Lock to Austin Theory in the middle, you actually make him choke out himself on the carotid artery at the same time. I'm like, yeah, sure, okay, it did look good, I'll give you that. Maybe go outside and touch some grass, but I get your point. And Theory trying to get trying to use the chair from the timekeeper's area.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that as well. That was a lot of fun. One other thing that I'm coining. So Triple H, get your notepad out again. I have named the thing that Seth Rollins did at the end. It is the stepping stone stomp.
That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah. So I'll. Give me a call, Triple H. I'll sign that one over to you. It is copyright me now because I've got it out first.
How much are you going to charge for it?
I don't know. Maybe like tickets and accommodation for a year. Maybe
£1 million.
I'd say that's quite cheap actually. Like for a name, tickets and accommodation for a year.
What for every pay-per-view?
Well, and every Raw and SmackDown. You know?
Be Raw and SmackDown. So basically, you'll live in America.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If the kid and the wife want to come with me, then great. If they don't, then they're lost.
Fair enough.
And predictions-wise, who did you go with?
I went with Rollins.
So no point for you.
No. Let me guess, you went with Theory, didn't you?
I went with Seth Rollins.
Oh, did you?
I went Rollins as well. So even separate, we predicted the same, and neither of us got the point. So it's still Jez 2.
The reason I picked Rollins is because I thought Bobby Lashley. I don't think he's going to go straight back into it because I reckon there's going to be some other shenanigans with Brock Lesnar going on. Then I didn't think it was going to be Theory because I thought they're just building him back up again. They've broken him down and now they're building him back up again. So I think it's too early for a title run. But the way he won it, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I had exactly the same train of thought. And yeah, I'm glad that Theory won. I think that works.
Oh yeah.
And I'm glad to be wrong in that sense because it's more of an entertainment kind of aspect if I'm surprised by things. So
I'm glad he won, and I'm glad of the way he won.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, going into the main event, it is Jez 2, Dan 3.
Trez.
One match to go.
Oh.
Already, I cannot do it.
No, you can't. You've lost.
I've got to win by 2.
Out.
We can tie.
We can tie. Let's see if we can tie.
Oh, no, we can't tie.
Well, you can't tie in the overall thing. You can tie in this Survivor Series, but you can't tie in the overall thing.
Yeah, but overall, congratulations.
Thank you.
You've won the belt. Men's War Games. I didn't bother writing all of these out. Like the Bloodline against the Brawling Brutes et al.
It's when they announced them coming to the ring and the Bloodline was a mouthful, wasn't it?
The team off.
What was it? It was Sami Zayn, Solo Sikoa, the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions, the Usos, the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, Roman Reigns, with Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
Why don't you just say the Bloodline?
Yeah. Well, is Sami Zayn actually officially Bloodline? I guess he is.
He is now.
He is now. Was he at time of introduction?
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. I think there was still that question, wasn't there? Yeah. But even then, the Bloodline and Sami Zayn would have been a lot
would have made life a lot easier.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm going to go first.
Go for
it. Once again, in the cons column, I have got none.
I don't have any cons either.
Yeah, I think this was pretty good. Things I liked. Butch joint manipulation in the early going. Yep. I think in this match, it really lends itself to that kind of wearing down your opponent. And that I felt like that worked. When Ridge got into the match, I felt like the double teams between Butch and Ridge on Jey Uso was really good. I liked that Kevin Owens was wearing a Dusty Rhodes shirt for this match. The War Games is Dusty's baby.
Yeah.
It did make me think, though, how gutted Cody Rhodes must be to be injured for this. He had the first possible opportunity for him to take part in War Games in WWE. You know, we won't talk about the AEW knockoff of this match that has its own jaded history.
What was that? Blood and Guts?
Blood and Guts, yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah, the cardboard metal grates, wasn't it?
Yeah. So much for not mentioning it. And I also liked everything Sami Zayn did in this match, him proving his loyalty throughout the match, and then thoroughly proving his loyalty at the end without any question, and the ending with him hugging Jey Uso and all of that going on. It was perfect. It's one of the best stories that has come in WWE for a very long time. I was all over it. And now that question is gone, leaving the door open for Sami Zayn to actually betray the bloodline now that he is fully in and fully trusted.
He's fully acknowledged. You've basically summed up everything I had.
I mean, the kind of the good things of this match did kind of speak for themselves. I feel I don't think they needed too much.
I have a question for you now.
Oh dear. Okay.
How do you feel about Butch now? Because when he first debuted, we were a bit and ahhing about him being called Butch, and he was a bit more of that psychopathy, just nut job in the bar sort of guy. What do you think of him now?
Butch the character, I'm all in. You know, he's basically gone back to being that same character that he was in NXT when he was teaming with Ridge Holland. That was already a thing.
Yeah.
I still think the name Butch can get in the sea, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah. I agree with you. I'm all behind Butch. The name needs to change back to Pete Dunne. You know, and this whole Brawling Brutes thing, I'm behind it.
Yeah, I think it's working. Yeah. I do want to see them with the tag titles, or at least going more for the tag titles. I'm not that bothered about there being an undisputed world championship. That's working, but I think we need separate tag titles again.
Yeah.
There's not enough stakes in the tag team division.
Yeah.
With the belts being together, but probably not going to happen. Yeah. We'll wait and see. We're not getting another WWE Premium Live event until the Royal Rumble, so kick back, relax, and enjoy Raw and SmackDown, because that's all you're getting, and you're probably only getting clip shows over Christmas as well, because I think Triple H is like a kind boss who wants to give his superstars time off or some.
What's this thing called time off?
Do you really need that? Like, it's not like you wrestle every day of the year. Like,
you don't need time off.
You get at least one day a week off. You don't need Christmas off.
You don't need time off. Don't be stupid.
Predictions. Who did you go with?
I actually betrayed the bloodline, and I went with the Brawling Brutes, and etc. etc. I know.
Yeah. I did go with the bloodline because, you know,
even though I'm wearing a bloodline shirt,
I will always acknowledge my tribal chief.
I did have a very good reason why, though.
I don't think it is a good reason, but go on.
I think it was going to be the culmination of everything, and Kevin Owens was going to convince Sammy to betray the bloodline. You know, Jay was going to be right. Plus, all the fighting was going to be between Sammy and Jay. If Sammy didn't betray the bloodline, it was going to be because of Jay and Sammy fighting against each other that would cost the bloodline the win. Plus, the titles aren't on the line.
Okay, yeah, I will accept your reason. That was a good reason. I mean, it was wrong, but it was a good reason.
Oh, no, it's wrong, but that's the way I was thinking.
Yeah. I had that in my head as well, but I was thinking we're not quite ready to end this yet.
No.
The only way to go, if it had all ended here, was Sami Zayn against Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble. I don't think they want that. I'm now convinced, almost, that they don't want it at all, and that we're never going to see that Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns match.
It's getting that way, isn't it?
I think that they're enjoying having this group together too much, and we may get it a long way down the line.
Yeah,
but also, do we need it? Sami Zayn's doing great in the bloodline. Like, okay, he hasn't got the belt, but neither does anyone else in WWE. There's only one person holding that belt. He's done so for the last, checks watch, 107 years. And it doesn't seem like that's going to change. So, compelling story and good rivalries with other people is the best you can get. And I think that Sami Zayn is doing that in droves. And so I will say, before we move on to the press conference, that with my correct prediction of the Bloodline. It brings me to a 3. Leaves you on a 3.
A 3.
And so the final scores
on the doors
from the, what is this, third quarter?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, the fourth quarter is going to roll into next year, but the third quarter of predictions for that belt is Jez 74, Dan 75. He wins by 1, folks. 1 measly point.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Awful.
Yes.
Diabolical.
Yes. Just look at it, Jess.
I am looking at it. It's a beautiful belt. It's got the wrong name on it and the wrong network, but still it's a beautiful belt.
Talking about that, this belt, how long have we had this? We were talking about this before. It was about 2 years.
We think it's 2 years old. Yeah.
It's 2 years old. It's quite old. The backing is coming off quite a few places. As you said, it's got the wrong name and everything on it. It's done well.
It has done
well.
We
think now, don't we, that it's time for an upgrade.
It's time that championship belt is retired.
This is going to be retired. So I'm going to pop this down over here. And let me introduce everyone to the brand new main event podcast prediction championship right here.
Ooh.
There's a nice looking belt.
Yeah, get that in a bit closer.
I'll get it in a bit closer. Let me fold it all up.
Just got to avoid the microphone as you do. Sorry if there's a clonk. Look at the detail on that.
There you go.
I mean, you look at the logo above my head. There it is, and look at it on the belt. Perfect.
Get right in.
And I'm seeing this belt properly for the first time, the same time as you. So yeah, I dig that.
All that. This is a completely custom design. I'll show you one of the side plates off. Looking
Beautiful.
All good. I will say the camera's not really picking up, but the globes are blue.
Okay, yeah. Well, what I would suggest to you, Dan, now that you have officially been declared champion, that you get the best camera out that you've got in the house. And take some photos, get them up on your Twitter, and we'll share them on social media.
Absolutely.
And then I'll have a little cry, and I'll pick myself up, refocus, and get ready to kick your ass in the fourth quarter.
You know what I can do now? I can do this.
It could be Danny 2 belts.
You can acknowledge me now.
I will not be doing that, but I will acknowledge the belt. The belt is beautiful.
Acknowledge the belt.
I will acknowledge the belt. Yeah.
But yeah.
So the fourth quarter is going to be a little interesting because, as we said, there isn't another event in WWE, or rather, the main roster of WWE until the Royal Rumble, which is the last event of the quarter.
Yeah.
We've got NXT Deadline.
Yeah.
We're going to do AEW Winter is Coming.
Yeah.
Which is, Dynamite and Rampage, but whatever. I think there's an Impact event in December that we'll do.
Yeah, there was, I can't remember what it's called, but I think it's
I sent you a picture, didn't I? It's Bully Ray versus Josh Alexander in the main event. Yeah. Whatever, can't speak. Whatever event that is, we'll cover that.
Yeah.
I think as well we're going to be covering the 2 WWE in New Japan, in Japan in general things. So there's whatever event Carl Anderson goes and fights Hikuleo for his IWGP United States Championship. We might as well do them. It's not like WWE is going to entertain us in December.
No.
And also on New Year's Day, the event involving Shinsuke Nakamura against the Great Muta.
Yeah.
So there are events that we are going to predict. The score is going to be vastly lower than the 74, 75 that we got to here. but I think there's a lot of scope for some good wrestling in this next 2 months. Short quarter to finish us off. And I think it puts me in good stead to perhaps take the belt from you heading into WrestleMania season. We'll see.
Yeah.
We shall see. Last things to do then. We've done the Survivor Series event.
Yeah.
Let's give it a score before we have a little chat about the press conference.
Yeah.
So, it's only fair that we use the War Games itself as the ranking system. So I ask you today, Dan, to give me a score out of 5 double ring steel cages.
So I thoroughly enjoyed this event. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm going to go... Do I go that high?
Ooh. He's really thinking now.
I know. This is a rare recurrent. I'm going to go 4.
You're going for a full 4?
Yeah.
Okay. I am not going to give it that high.
Yeah.
Just because of how disappointed I am in the AJ Styles Finn Balor match.
Yeah.
It was fine. We covered that. But I was expecting more. I don't think they're holding anything back to do that again, really. I think, if anything, it's going to be team versus team going forward. So I felt like that was the time to have a big technical match of the year blowout. Yeah. And they blew it, frankly.
Yeah.
So it drops points for me there. But I enjoyed everything. Even the match that people are calling terrible in the women's match, I enjoyed that too. So I'm going to give it a 3.5. They don't deserve
not
4,
that far from me.
But 3.5 seems fair.
So we both enjoyed it.
We did, yeah. We're going to have to go back and look at what our highest rated show of the year has been as we move into December as well, because going to open up the polling for match of the year and wrestlers of the year and all that kind of stuff for our year-end awards. So it's a time of reflection going into December in this quiet period. So after Survivor Series, they held a press conference.
They did.
And it's wrestling. We're going to talk about it. What did you like from this press conference? I don't think there's much scope for cons.
No.
It was what it was. If you didn't like it, then...
I have to say, I did like pretty much all of it. I'm not really one to watch press conferences, really, but this one was quite entertaining. I liked Sammy and Paul, the way they were just talking, and I liked the way they told off a guy about their phone being on. How much praise Paul was giving Sammy, all that. Becky, a lot of questions for Becky, even though Bianca was there. But they both said it all. And then the Triple H stuff was really good. How he said, Hell in a Cell is going to be scrapped effectively, the pay-per-view, and then use it for any event if it's
an end of a rivalry, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And he was saying about listening to the fans about whether Elimination Chamber and Money in the Bank should not be on their own pay-per-views. But I kind of agree with what he said. Hell in a Cell, you can challenge one person to it, whereas I challenge you to an Elimination Chamber with X other people in it. That won't work. Neither will it for Money in the Bank. So, but I thought it was very good.
Yeah, I liked a lot about it, and I do like the press conferences. I have been watching them. I want to give a shout out to WWE for their presentation of this press conference. A lot more polished than an AEW press conference. And that's not to say that the AEW press conferences are bad. I think what you get in terms of the questions and answers from them are very good also. But when you have MJF coming in and cutting the promo of his life moments after winning the World Championship, and you can't hear it because all the microphones are behind him. I'm like, you've done messed up there. That doesn't quite work. You need to really think about your presentation and make sure that every single thing that happens can be picked up, and they haven't done that. Whereas in this WWE press conference, that you could hear everyone throughout. You could even hear the guy's phone going off in the audience. So very good audio there. Paul Heyman, man.
Paul Heyman's just brilliant.
What a guy. I
love Paul Heyman.
Is it going to get boring, like telling people how good Paul Heyman is? Because he was just another level once again.
Paul
at this
Heyman
press
is
conference.
just amazing.
His answers to the questions, staying in character throughout, and just the way that he deflected some of the negative things that were being asked. He's put on a masterclass of how to speak in public once again. So sharp. And I feel like this was a struggle for Triple H the last time. The Clash at the Castle press conference was a little bit Triple H getting used to the role. He wanted to do the press conference. I felt like he eased into it a bit more. He spoke more like he'd been doing these things forever. I liked his storytelling about the TD Boston Garden, whatever you want to call it, and how much that meant to him to be back there and to use war games. The only thing I didn't like about that is the assertion that he can't remember all of the things that he has pitched over the years and all the things. Like, whatever, mate. We know how sharp you are. You remember everything.
You know everything, mate.
You are a massive student of this business, and he's done it. He's done it before. Like whenever he's trying to face off criticism, and he's like, is that how it was? I don't remember that. Or when back when, what was it? Back in the day when Roman Reigns was being booed while being a babyface, and he was like, "Well, I don't think it really matters as long as there's a reaction." I'm like, mate, you don't believe that. You've said completely opposite things in other interviews, and you just don't believe that. You're just towing the company line. And I feel like now that he is the company line, he can be a bit more free and easy. Never negative about his superstars, fair enough, but he can be a bit more honest about it. But to say he doesn't remember, I'm like, not sure I believe you. And I would like to know, as a fan, it would bring me great joy to know, even if it was shot down, which it obviously would have been, if you pitched War Games back in like 2002, I would just love knowing that. I just want to hear that story. You pitching War Games, who it would have been, what the teams would have been in your mind. Just knowing that would bring me immense joy. So slightly disappointed that he's like, I don't remember. I'm like,
rubbish.
Do you? And that's it really. I hope they continue to give us these press conferences, and shoot your shot, pipe dream. One day it could be you or I in the press box representing the Main Event podcast, asking questions.
Bring it on.
Let's do it. Yeah. We might have to actually get press credentials and stuff. But, still a very young podcast. Still a very young entity. We can work towards that. And that is our show. Give us another flash of that championship belt as I round things up here. Do join us next time as we move into the next quarter of wrestling leading up to the Royal Rumble in January. I think the next one is Deadline.
I think it's Deadline as well.
I think NXT Deadline is the next event that we're going to cover, but there may be something else in the interim that we've forgotten, so stay tuned for that. If you would like to support us and help pay off this expensive championship belt that we have purchased for your delectation, then do consider supporting us on Patreon or Ko-fi. Patreon.com, coffee.com/The Jez Show. Either we've got a championship belt or we eat. Those are the options, and we've got a championship belt. So, please help. Until next time, I've been Jez.
And I've been Dan.
And this has been the Main Event Podcast. Bye, folks.
Bye.